Here is the Harris Revolution of the United States. Part 1. Sorry. You see, so March 2025, some considered a dark period in the United States. Healthcare, inflation, etc. was going up. Anything good was going down. The USA was more isolated than ever. It was clear his plan to end the war in Ukraine, Trump, having the ideology of Trumpism in power, it was clear that his plan to make peace in Ukraine was having loopholes and issues. But Harris, saying that the election was rigged in April 2025, saw America have a revolution that would see America in the darkest of times become possibly only a major power losing its superpower status. The Harris Revolution. Here we go. The Republic of America is what it was called. Was formed it over time would grow, but it would fail taking over Washington, D.C. So it would spread to other areas. Relocation. Lol. Anyway, Trump fled D.C. and made an emergency capital in Chicago as Washington, D.C. would fall, along with other areas. New York City had also fallen, and eventually she swept in New England. It was clear she was in the lead. But however, people that supported Trump would become insurgents that were for Trump. They would appear all over New England, giving a rough time for Harris. Meanwhile, also, I'm going to rename this because I did a misspell, and I'm sorry for that. It's probably going to be misspelling, so, yeah. She would also continue on to take over... most of New York State and most of Pennsylvania. Okay, not that much. Sorry about that. Of course, still the insurgents in New England still existed, and even ones in New York State did as well. So it wasn't all that great for Harris, but in Cascadia, which the Greater Idaho Movement had partially succeeded. It's more of the proposed border, according to their official website, is where it went. You know, the border. the new state border of Idaho and Oregon. But in the Cascadian region, Harris rose and eventually took over California, most of it, and other areas as well. She would even go on to conquer even more areas, destroying the Pacific Fleet, or making it useless, or making it too far away, not operable, etc., except Alaska, holding the entire majority-strong American, under Trumpism, that USA, Pacific Fleet under its belt. It was even worse, as Harris would then go on to take over parts of Michigan, Florida, Texas, etc. And this lake over here, I think it was Eric or something like that. Well, they would take the surrounding areas of this lake. Woohoo for Harris, I guess. Over here in North Carolina, Harris dominated mostly, including parts of Virginia. It seemed like it was over. But was it? You see, there's a new military dictatorship. Already it was an oilocracy or whatever it's called. But now it's a military dictatorship of a military junta, martial law. You see, the issue is that even with J.D. Vance, with Trump controlling the military, and chief in command of the military was given to J.D. Vance as well, sharing it with someone else. Okay, so now what? Well, the thing was, even with this, even with more support, Harris was still currently winning. With Western support pooling in, it was harder to keep up. But what if there was a man who liked Trump? One that was struggling invading the second biggest country in a continent, while they were the biggest in the continent, and really needed a Trump in power to get some good terms. What if I told you that? You probably already know who I am referring to. This man would go on to send on as much as he can and would even turn the tide in the war. Even in Trump's USA darkest of moments,